Joining us now to dissect this is economist Emmanuel Leyco, Senior Fellow at the Center for People Empowerment in Governments, and former University President of Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila. Magandang umaga po sa inyo. Welcome to our show.
Magandang umaga, Gretchen. I'm glad to be back. Kumusta po kayo?
Let's take a look at this budget, this 2026 proposal, the National Expenditure Program, which is about 7.4% higher than the 2025 budget at 6.7 trillion pesos, 22% of GDP. As an economist, as a professor, and as a good governance advocate, can you enlighten us on how the totality of the budget is, created, and is it reasonable to see it go up every single year? Because if we remember, last year was an election year, or actually this year is an election year, and next year is not. Shouldn't we expect the budget to become lower?
I don't think the budget should be a function of the electoral period. The budget should reflect the requirements, the needs, the development needs of our people. And in fact, if it increased, it should increase with first population and also the goals, the development goals of the government. Looking at the budget, for example, if the government recognizes that education is a major priority, healthcare is a major priority, housing is a major priority, those sectors should get higher budget, higher allocations this year. And if we put that in context, for example, we are experiencing an education deficit. We are seeing hundreds of thousands of classroom shortages. Allocating a measly amount of a few billion pesos for classroom construction definitely is not going to create a dent in the classroom shortage problem. And considering that there are millions of our people who do not have access to health care, I don't think the current budget allocations will be sufficient in order to address the healthcare requirements of our people. And definitely, the budget for housing will be very, very far from the current housing shortage that we are experiencing right now. So definitely, there is a need for the budget to be realigned, to be redirected, and address the major development of problems of the country today.
If we are seeing a lack of or a shortage of budget towards the sectors that you mentioned, and if you say that the budget reflects the values and priorities, what do you see now with this budget? Where could we take some piece of the pie and transfer it to those sectors?
Well, yesterday I attended the People's organizations oversight, overview, or review of the budget. I think that was a good start. And listening from the contributions of the delegates or the representatives in that meeting, they definitely said that we need to allocate more for social sectors. And they spotted the continuing confidential and security, intelligence budget that they say they could not be justified, considering that the national defense already has a big chunk of the budget. Why would there be a need for a separate confidential and intelligence fund? If the national defense and the police cannot provide the security for our people, for our government officials, I think there is something wrong with that. And therefore, we have to make sure, we have to further scrutinize why is it that confidential and intelligence fund will be required for public offices.
How about the DPWH fund? Are you happy with the decrease in the DPWH fund? They're asking for about 881 billion for 2026, yet still about 275 earmark for flood control. Bumaba na po ito. Naalala ko, there was an uproar dahil umabot po ng trilyon yung budget ng DPWH. As eventually, with the revised version, they diverted some of the funds to the education sector. Are you happy with this decrease?
Oh, definitely not. I think this is what you were referring to na for this budget year. DPWH budget was increased. Maraming infra. And right now, I think there are still billions of pesos in the pipeline for DPWH. And considering that we've been hearing about the anomalies, the fraud, the ghost projects, particularly with the flood control projects, I don't think DPWH at the moment should get that big chunk of our funds. Definitely, we need infrastructure. Our country's infrastructure is not competitive compared to the infrastructure of our neighboring countries in the region. Definitely not, and therefore we need to modernize. We need to improve our infrastructure in the country, particularly roads, bridges, telecommunications, and other major infrastructure. However, given our track record, it doesn't look like DPWH was able to set a good track record that justifies further increase or even just a major chunk of the country's budget. I don't think so.
Of course, that is a crucial part to looking at the proper allocations for a certain year. Diba? Parang pag tinataas nyo lang po ng sweldo, yan, titingnan nyo rin po yung track record kung naging sulit po ba yung pera po ninyo. Which I think was the argument also for PhilHealth last year na sinabi marami naman po silang excess funds, which spurred the debate over what consists the excess funds, right? But civil society is calling for a freedom of information law. From your perspective, how will an FOI make this budget process genuinely transparent?
Well, unang-una, if we are given access to information, to the rationale why the budget was allocated for a particular project or a particular agency, and also if we have a comprehensive rationale or justification for funding for specific projects nationwide, I think that will be more meaningful. Right now, we are just given summary information, of course, with some numbers, and then we are drowned with the specifics, but not much substantive discussion on the projects. And also, I think this is a major clamor among even senators and other congressmen. We need to identify who the proponents of these projects are, particularly the politicians. And if we are following Senator Ping Lacson's speech, he mentioned three major participants in the flood control projects. Number one, meron pong sponsor. Merong politician na nag-sponsor ng funding. Number two, andyan po ang DPWH. At number three, andyan din po ang mga contractors. Siguro po in varying degrees, makikita natin how significant their roles are in managing the projects and managing the funds. So pagka pinag-usapan, sino ba ang responsable kung bakit nagkaroon ng ghost projects o kaya mga substandard projects, tatlo po ang tinitingnan natin at least at para po makita natin ano ba ang naging dahilan kung bakit bumaha, nalunod ang karamihan sa ating mga komunidad noong pong nakaraang bagyo. At remember, this is just we're just entering September. September, October, even November, December, makikita po natin dyan ang mas malalakas na bagyo. Para ang nakikita natin nung mga nakaraan, hindi naman bago ito. Nangyayari na rin yan. Maski na nung pang mga, hindi lang po ngayong administrasyon na ito, maski na po nung mga administrasyong nakaraan. Pero, kung balikan natin yung Undoy, para pong hindi na pag-usapan dito bakit nawala yung ating mga flood control projects nung panahon ng Undoy. Bahagya lamang po na talakayan at nawala na naman. Pagkatapos, bumalik na naman po sa dating gawi. Ang ating pong mga politiko, ang ating pong DPWH, ang ating pong mga kontraktor, at lumaki pa po. Yan po ang nakakabahala. Dahil hindi lang bilyon ang nawawala sa ating pondo, kundi kung pag-uusapan natin yung mga nakaraang taon pa, trilyones na ang nawala dahil po sa sinasabi nga po nila, nagkaroon ng nakawaan, nagkaroon po ng inefficiency, nagkaroon po ng maraming mga ghost projects at marami pong mga proyekto na hindi naman talaga ginawa. At hindi po naaayon. Meron daw po diyang mga tulay na hindi naman po tumatagal. Katatayo pa lang, bumabagsak na. At meron din pong mga proyekto, meron pong mga daan na parang saan ba pupunta itong mga daan na ito? Ito ba ang developmental objectives ng ating pamahalaan? Kasi po kung nagtutuloy-tuloy po yan, 22% of the GDP ang ating budget. Napakalakas, powerful, ang laki ng potential para po i-stimulate ang ating pong economic development. Pero nawawala po yan taon-taon.
Actually nga po, pag titignan po, nakakalula din yung, may pera po pala tayo, na ganun kalaki. Pero again, the question is, saan po ito napupunta? And I guess that's where a citizen's audit or a people's audit will play its part. You've emphasized the role of a people's audit alongside the budget process, alongside COA. How do you imagine that to happen? Given nga, nalulunod po tayong lahat pagka nakita po natin yung NEP, even congressmen are saying, at yun po yung naging dahilan nila, na hindi ko naman masuri ang bawat parte ng budget na pinopropose namin. Kumbaga, ang dami, hindi lang po yan sa infrastructure, meron din po kayong edukasyon, meron po kayong health, at kung ano-ano pa. How do you imagine this audit to go?
Yung pong dami at laki ng halaga ng mga proyekto na pinopondohan ng pamahalaan, yan po ang isang pinakamahalagang dahilan kung bakit po natin kailangan isama ang mga mamamayan sa pagpapatupad at pagmamatyag sa paggastos ng ating pondo. Hindi po kakayanin yan ng isang ahensya. Katulad po ang COA mismo, sila ang nagsasabi, hindi naman nila kaya na i-audit lahat yan. At ang pagka po infrastructure, kailangan po dyan may mga inhinyero, kailangan po dyan may mga civil engineers na titingin. At pagka yung mga COA auditors natin, na karaniwan pagkakaalam natin sa mga COA auditors, ang mga finance, accounting auditors. Hindi lamang po yan. Meron pong mga technical auditors yan. Ngayon, may kakayahan ba ang COA para po pag-aralan, tingnan, i-evaluate ang lahat ng mga proyektong ito? Mukhang hindi po kakayanin yan ng iisang ahensya. Kaya po kami mula sa SENPED ay naglalayon na pakilusin ang ating pong mga mamamayan sa komunidad. Unang-una, hindi naman po lahat ng audit ay technical. Kung minsan po, kailangan lang makita mo, matuntungan mo, maamoy mo, may proyekto pala dito o wala. I think that is preliminary, sufficient yan. Kung meron o wala, may establish natin. Pangalawa po, batay po doon sa plano na nakalagay sa DPWH. Kasi lahat naman yan may plano. Ngayon po, gusto rin naming i-mobilize, gusto rin po naming itap yung pong mga kaibigan naming mga organisasyon ng mga civil engineers, mga scientists, para po tulungan na tumingin sa mga proyektong ito. Tama ba ang kanilang mga technical specs at saka tama po ba yung ginawa ng mga kontraktor, ginawa ng DPWH. At ang isa pong napakalaking bahagi po niyan ay yung pricing. Makikita po natin yan, magkano ang presyo na sinasabi ng contractor o ng DPWH ang halaga ng isang proyekto o kaya po ng mga parts na ginagamit nila. At nakita na po natin, narinig nga po natin, pinapad ang mga cost nito by 10,000, 1,000. Nakakalula po, kaya po pala ganyan kalaki
Sa cat's
ang
eyes.
ating
Oo.
budget. So, kung ang ating pong mga mamamayan, hindi lamang po sa kamay-nilaan, kundi po sa kabuuan ng ating bansa, bibigyan natin ng papel, bibigyan natin po ng halaga ang magagawa ng ating mga mamamayan, mas malaki po ang magagawa nito. Mas powerful ito kaysa po sa COA o sa mga iba pong ahensya.
Oho, bilang huling katanungan po, kasi sabi po ng ibang grupo ay hindi po lahat ng data ay nandyan, lahat ng datos. Ano pong kinakailangan ba ng mas malawak na transparency para po mas maging pulido pa po itong citizens audit?
Alam po ninyo, ang budget natin ay ipinaloob sa 3 volumes na napakakapal at mga maliliit na mga letra at numero. Pero yung justification ng mga projects, wala po dun yon. Siguro po, pagka inilagay nila yon, mas lalaki pa, mas magiging marami ang mga pahina na ilalagay nila doon sa ating mga budget. Pero kailangan po, mula po doon sa umpisa, anong project ba ito? Kaya po, yung sinasabi rin po ni Senator Ping Lacson, may nakita sila, pare-pareho. At si President Marcos mismo nagsabi, bakit may mga proyekto, pare-pareho ang presyo, maski na iba-iba ang lugar ng gagawan ng mga projects na ito. At isa pa pong nakikita nila, mukhang yung dating project na inumpisahan na, tinapos na, binondohan na, inuulit po uli taon-taon. Kaya po, mahalaga yan. Ilang flood control projects, ilang karsada, ilang bang, gaano ba kalaki, gaano ba kahaba ang mga proyekto na to. Kaya po, hindi pwede na kung ano lang ang sinabmit ng ahensya ng gobyerno, ay yun ang ipapaloob natin sa budget. Ito po rin ay panawagan po sa DBM. Kasi hindi naman po taga-kolekta lang ng datos ang ating pong DBM. Napakahalaga ng papel ng DBM sa paggawa ng National Expenditure Program. Kailangan po makita natin yan. Ito ba ay nagawa na? Bakit may 77 million? Bakit natin pinapalusot? Hindi po ba tayo nagduda na 77 million, kaunti lang ang pagkakaiba. Halimbawa, ilang piso lang ang pagkakaiba. Sa proyekto sa isang barangay, sa kabilang barangay. Ano ba yan? Pare-pareho ba ang kanilang kalagayan? Mukhang hindi naman po ito yan kapanipaniwala. Kaya hindi po dapat nakalusot yan.
Okay, so yun po, no? So siguro mga 20 na po, libro na budget po doon po sa mga justification. Pero you made good points there. Tama naman ho. We're gonna need the expertise of different professionals to be able to analyze the budget. And one thing is for sure, I'm glad we are taking this route. Finally, ito po ay napag-uusapan na. Matagal na po natin nalalaman ito, but to put it at the center, front and center, means a lot. And we have you at the forefront. Maraming salamat for your time today. We have Professor Emmanuel Leyco, Senior Fellow at the Center for People Empowerment and Governance and former University President of the Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila.
Maraming salamat po at magandang umaga po sa ating lahat.